Same family. All praises, oh brother Wadey, young warrior. Brother Wadey, I will come to your marriage. If you marry, I will come over. Everywhere. Don't forget to invite me. Um, Brother Antonio Manning, the Manning family, very strong people. We're gonna talk about us diasporans today going to the promised land. Yeah? Before we are going deeper with our teachings. No praises. Hey, Mr. Gus, brother, one day you have to contact as well. I think you have a lot of things to share. There are people that used to follow us for 2 or 3 years. Huh? Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, all praises. Kimbo Kimana Tanzambia Mazulu. All praises for the things that he's doing for us in these last days. Before waiting on the book. Oh yeah. I will even share the books for free very soon. For 3 days. Just give me the time. 1 or 2 more weeks, and you will see 2 or 3 books coming out. But the major book won't come out. I don't think that I will make it until January. Yeah, I don't know. It can be. It can't. I don't know. Let's see. This book's takes a lot of time. Uh, I will send it to you, my brother. Now, there's a lot of things to share. There's a lot of things to say, especially like I always used to say, all of us were deceived. All of us have to relearn things. All of us have different kinds of problems that we have to handle daily. The truth is, we have to fight for our lives to survive. Like the animals used to be outside and fighting for their families to survive. This is how we are fighting as well to survive. And every one of us is different. When the spirit comes down, the spirit gives vibrations. These vibrations, yeah, this is what the world sense. They can sense these vibrations. But when the spirit enters to the human body, then the spirit becomes heavy. Okay, the spirit becomes heavy, which means that the spirit can only walk in the frequency of who you are now and how much your body carries. And now you have to walk, you have to feed your children, you have to fight different kinds of other spirits, you have to handle racism, you have also to eat, even that what we eat is unholy sometimes, you know normally we should have times to eat, and like meat. And I really do not agree if people say they do not eat meat because it's not good for our body. Okay, but I would say like 2 times in the week eating meat, and we have ceremonies, where we used to give even offer to the Most High, and there we used to eat meat as well. So very good. Now, or drink some palm wine, and sometimes me myself, I was away from alcohol almost 10 years, and I felt it on my body because I changed completely. I changed completely, and I became very weak because of the Most High's words. I mean, the Most High say, humble yourself, but you see, so I was almost crazy, seeing doing everything what I could do, but I changed. My body could change completely because of the Most High's works, because you do not move like you have moved before. But that what I want to say is that we are completely different, and every one of us understands things differently. Um, Now, when it comes to when it comes to Africa, when it comes to Africa, um, we have to be very careful. We have to start uh, learning from the beginning. What is Africa? Okay, what is Africa? We have Steve Biko, we have Sheikh Anta Diop, we have I can even call Gaddafi, Nelson Mandela, Patrick Lumumba. When we go to the spiritual people, away from Pan Africanists, we have Kimbangu, Kimpavita, we have Simon Toko, we have Buddha Matswa, we have different kinds of spiritual leaders everywhere, even southern part, even in the western part of Africa, that came out with to fight the Catholics. And then we have also kings, if it comes to kings, Queen Zinga, Nzinga Nguvu. We have Zulu kings, even Shaka Zulu, kings in the East, and all these kinds of things. Back to the Bible, okay? Um, when we see and we are talking about prophets in the scriptures, then you will see that politics and what the world calls today religion, we never separated it. It was never separated. It is almost the same thing because there are three: Taku, Panzu, Nzinga. There are three. You can't separate them: head, body, and the part down there. Okay? Which means you have the Father, well, this is what the Catholics used to say, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The problem here is the Holy Spirit represents both of them. Okay? The Holy Spirit represents both of them. And the time that we had before, we can say we had the time of head. Okay? Then after that, we had the time of the body, the panzu. And now we have the time of the Holy Spirit, which means the Spirit will come all over the world and take over so that the Spirit can reign. The Spirit represents both of it, okay? Which means the government will be led by the Spirit of the Most High through the sons of men. It's a little bit complicated, but we're going through it. We're coming. Now, we had the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. We had the king of Egypt. We had the queen of Seba. We had different kinds of empires, even still today. And all of them are what? Under the word politic. Politicians, government. And then you have the religious, what they call today religious, which means Gunza, spiritual leaders. They are under the umbrella representative person of the Most High, religion. These people are sent to deliver the people from who? When we say Satan, it was always the same people, the government. Herod against Isaiah, the king of Egypt against Moses, the queen of Sheba and all of them against Elijah, the Egyptian king against Moses, like I have said, NATO, the president, the former presidents of Angola, against Simon Toko, a leader, a politician, a political leader like Donald Trump Why should he fight someone that just preaches about the Most High? It's one and the same. It's one and the same. You can't take, okay? You can't take David's seats, the kingdomship, away from religion, which means spirituality. So if you see today someone is not religious, okay, 1 second. Hello. Yeah, see me, my brother. Everything okay? Yeah, no problem. We're gonna talk about it. Everything is will be resolved in the spirit. When we pray. I'm in my life at the moment, but give me a couple of minutes. It won't be so long, and then we're gonna go through it. Everything will be fine. Yes. Mm. Yeah, no problem. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Yeah, I'm in my life at the moment. Give me just a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna talk about it. Everything. I'm in my life at the moment on YouTube. Exactly. Yes, I'm live. Yes. Thank you. Ingrid. Bye. Yes. So, like I said, everyone has to work. Everyone must go to school. Everyone have to eat. Yeah. Uh, this is how the world is. Yeah. So you must survive. So then everything is okay so far. This is how the Tanzania said to Adam and Eve: through your food, through your work, if you sweat, you're gonna get food. All good, all praises. We are not against it. But now you have an oppressor, you have people that try to make money out of you, that try to become your god or king or whatever, to be above you, to enslave you. We built Egypt, we built Spain, we built America, we went to war for them, okay? When they fought here, Germany, Hitler, and all these kinds of things, they went up down to Algiers and all these kinds of places. They took our best. They started to fight against the Germans and all these kinds of things. Okay, so the same thing when they took the people like Zumbi, when they went to Brazil, we had different kinds of fights to fight over there. So we are the creators. We worked very hard. But all this time, we never worked or fought for the Most High. We always had to fight against the government, against a system. Okay? And this is what we have to understand. Okay? When we're talking about the Babylonian system, and I love the people from Jamaica because they understood it a long time ago, okay? Because they are spiritual, that the government is always led by satanic leaders. Now, where's my problem today? If you have, if we go to the United States, we had Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, we had you know different kinds of people coming up, and some others were religious, some others like they moved like pan-africanists. Yeah, the thing that we are always forgetting, they always talked about Africa, coming back home to Africa. All of them, all Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson, There is no one of them that said, oh, Africa is garbage. Michael Jackson even made a music video where he showed Eddie Murphy as a leader sitting there, showing up that the Egyptian people were black. So the hunger of Africa is so great, so big all over the planet that the people always forgetting where they really used to come from. We as people from the black continent, we are the ones that haven't forgotten, where we used to come from. Me myself, I grew up here in the West, and I know how you feel if you grew up in the West. Okay, no one is really a black person is normally not racist. He doesn't have any problem with other nations. How can you have a problem with other nations if you are the ones that created these other nations? You give birth to them. It's impossible. But when you live among these nations, you will always see that you are the lowest from the lowest of them. And you have to give 150% more energy, more power, more love to survive in their lands, in those countries. And when you grew up in the West and you are really Nzinga, which means you are a spiritual person, because we are different. Like I say, the vibration of us is different. Some of us are just, they have this politician spirit. They are not these warriors like going to fight the government. The Tanzania have written in the scriptures, who will go and fight Edom? Who will go? If I tell you now and come in the night and knock on your door and say, pack your things, my son, your family, I will send somewhere else, but you will go now to the world and tell them, all of them, that my judgment will come upon them. I tell you, 99.9% of the people wouldn't do that. They would be very scared. They would say, no, I won't do that. I don't want to die. So the spiritual of us, the spiritual people of us, we have the people, the workers. I know it from my sister. We are trying to do businesses in Africa. My sister is like, no, for me, it's better if you establish the business and I see that I have a work maybe in your business that I can work over there. She say, I'm not the business person. I am a worker. You have leaders, you have workers, you have people that know only how to pray, you have people that only know how to create something and then they give it away, and so that other people can start can continue working with it. And we have to start understanding which positions we are. Different kinds of people. Back again. Now you have people saying, oh yeah, we want to now at the moment, the whole world, not only the black people, but the whole world wants to go back to Africa. But we have also to know, that Africa, the same system that we find in the West is also in Africa. And that the people that we sent into Africa, it's like we are in a spaceship, right? And we want to know if this planet now has air. Okay? You just sent 30 of your people down there. Yeah? And this 30 will tell you, the relatives, and will tell you, okay, now it is possible for you to come and to live here with us. Everything is all right. This is where we are. This is exactly where we are. All the people, like I said, Mike Tyson, even Muhammad Ali came to fight in Congo. All the people that from the Asian people, the strong people, even people that had a lot of money in the United States, always talked about Africa. They always want to be connected to Africa. Why? Because they knew we have a home. This is our home. Africa is the home for the black race. When we have sent now our children's or our people into the land to check what the earth can give us, how we can survive by eating, having houses, transportations, electricity, and all these kinds of things, then we have to check the area, right? Tatanzambi, the creator, is wonderful. I was on the what calls clubhouse from Dr. Ron Dalton yesterday. And one thing that they have spoken about, because Dr. Ron Dalton said, we have to go back to Africa. We have to go back to Africa. And then we had a Pan-Africanist Day. He say, I don't care about the Bible. We are doing that what we have to do. We are go away with the Bible. Okay? And the group from Dr. Ron, they were like, no, we need the Bible. Yah said this, Yah said this. Okay? And now, Dr. Ron said, we can also live without electricity, without all this schnick-schnack, yeah, all these things from the West. But the Pan-Africanists say, no, we can't live without it. Very complicated. Very complicated. It was a big, big fight into this clubhouse. And all of them had rights somewhere. Because where we go, not by 5 years, everything will go to Africa, everything. But the thing that they are forgetting is the technology and everything will go to Africa. Everything will go to Africa. Dr. Ron said that he needs money. This is what he said to go to Africa. Very important things. Very good. And there was a woman, she said, yeah, maybe we can also do it without money. And Dr. Ron said he needs a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot means like 100 to 200,000 to survive down there. What do Massa say? Look, brothers and sisters, this thing is not easy. Eh? Everyone that lives in the continent is a fighter. Everyone that gives up the West to come to Africa, to live down there, he really loves Africa. He really loves the Most High. He trusts the Most High until the ground. Why? Because he already understood what will happen. When it will happen, all of us are seeing how the things are going to, how the things are changing. Every one of us are seeing how the things are changing fast. But this doesn't mean that everything that will happen in the West won't affect Africa as well. It will. In some parts, even heavier than in the West. What should we do? Where should we run? Now, brothers and sisters, growing up in the West, you have Western standards. You have a Western mindset, a Western program in your head. You are the West. No one can take it from you. it becomes very complicated if you come to the country, to the lands. Everywhere in Africa is the same. With the Western mindset to think that you can establish the Western mindset in Africa. Whether you are Pan-Africanist or religious, which means there is no way out to build communities. Communities. Okay? And one thing that we have found out so far by fighting down there in Africa, the corruption is so big still now that you can see that the most of the people that lives down there, they are politicians. We that stay in the religious part, we are like this, like it is written in the scriptures. The people that are called by my name, they are not many. And sometimes we think because we are black, the Nzinga clan, I come from the Mazinga clan, I am spirit. The most of us thinks, oh, we're so many. But you can't say that people, that are saying that we maybe have to stay in the West and fight them with guns or die with them or whatever, you will see that your vibration and their vibration are two complete different ways. Two complete different ways. Now, one thing what we have found out is that the most of the things on this world, what the West has established, or people in Africa, they mostly use some witchcraft somewhere. And if you don't have it, it is almost impossible to do something, whether in the West nor in Africa. You have to be one of them. But what we are forgetting is that King David was a king and a prophet. We are forgetting that the Most High wants us to lead also in the government. He wants to lift us up. He wants us also to explore diamonds, to know what we can do with our trees, bamboos, with our waters that comes out from the mountains, with our sun, with our wind energy or water energy. He wants us to do these kinds of things as well. So he has to take some of our people and send them toward Africa, suffering there, to build up, establish a foundation. Everyone that is now in Africa, he maybe do not even know why he's there. But the Most High have sent him there because it's very well said that the people would come from the West with their Western mindset to come to fight, to start changing Africa from within. All our forefathers, they have no other dream but to going back home. Everyone, it is in all of us know that there is a country, the mother of us all, where we used to come from. It's not the Middle East. It's not Asia. It's not North America. But now everyone is asking himself, how can I make it home? How can I go home? What do I need to go home? When is it time to go home? You see? That's why this is a time of preparation and not the time of migration. When I heard in this meeting that we had, they spoke about a lot of money, having a lot of money and going down to Africa. Brothers and sisters, where is it written that you need a lot of money to go to Africa? This is why when you have a lot of money and you go to Africa, then start doing something so that the others will not need all this money to come down, to come over. You see? One of the problems that we have is the government, yeah, are led by the West. And we that believe in the Most High, or even the Pan-Africanists, we have one enemy. The Pan-Africanists, they have one problem. They do not believe in the Most High. They're not interested. This is not our problem. But then we have one problem. We do not do anything to change our situation. We are waiting to Jesus to come to help us. So both of us have a problem, and the thing that will resolve all this problem is the Spirit and the time. The Spirit and the time will resolve all our problems. So we are two different kinds of persons and people that wants exactly the same thing. Let the Pan-Africanists enter to the politics and be led by the spiritual leaders. You see? So easy is it. Many people will think why you see the Hebrew Israelites becoming very big in America. It is the first time after hearing from Garvey and all these people that people in the US having a word, something that they can believe, all of the black people can believe into. Black, that they have an identity. We are the people from the book. Everything belongs to us. But if you go back, you will see Michael Jackson have shown it already. Huh? We have people like Miriam Makeba singing it in Africa and all the times long. Our people was proclaiming Africa. And even the Hebrew Israelite must accept Africa when they want to receive the complete blessing. And they're doing it. Even if they do not show it. They're coming to Africa. They're accepting today Ghana, Nigeria, and even some of the Bantu areas. It comes step by step, so there is no doubt. And the people that are saying, oh, we must have enough money to go back to Africa. These people, how can I say? They think they are secured. They think as long as I have a lot of money, I can go today, by tomorrow, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I can go. I have no problem. I just buy my ticket for my child, but they know they have to bounce. They have to know they have to move. But they're waiting for the fire to come near their house and to say, oh, now I know. I said it before. I have to go now. And they want us, the Nzinga clan, to go down there, yeah, and to clean up for them. When did you see? How many times these children of Israel went to captivity and they had to go back where they used to come from? Yeah. So our people in the land had to clean up so that they come up. There's nothing new under the sun. So they're saying, you, Massa, go. You want us to come down there in your garbage? I'm cool here. You see? I have McDonald's, I have my internet, I have everything here, and you are struggling for something that you are believing into. Because my Father, he will take me, when the time comes there where you are. But he knows exactly, neither Pan-Africanist nor or Pan-Africanist or the religious people. Every one of them knows he has to go back to Africa. But how many people are really fighting, or doing something to find themselves in Africa one day. You have never touched Africa, you have never been there, but you know everything about Africa. Everything, what you see on the news, what you see on Google, this is what you know about Africa. You maybe you have visited Africa one time for 2 or 3 days, maybe 1 week, and you think you know Africa. And this is these are the problems that we have. You can't know Africa like that. It's impossible. You have to be African to know Africa. You have to live there. You have to live there. This is the only way to know how you will know about Africa or the African people. You know? And in this time, you have a lot of hate or a lot of teachers speaking about Africa in one way good and another way bad, because they see themselves, it's like almost impossible or very hard for them to say, I go to Africa and live there, because they have to start from the scratch, from completely new. Completely new. But what did I do? I did the same. What did my other brothers that I know do, or the other sisters? They did the same. They start from the beginning. And don't think that someone in Africa will come and shake, here I am, here I am. But the same people that are waiting in the West and saying, I don't want to come over before you have something in Africa, they will be ashamed in exactly 2 or 3 years. Because even my mothers and fathers, even my sisters that grew up here, everyone wants to go home. And not only them, even the Chinese, the Turkish, the Indian, the American, the Brazilian, everyone wants to go to Africa, but no one knows how. If you don't fight today, if you don't fight tomorrow, you will fight by then. You have to go anywhere. Anywhere you have to go to Africa. And now you have millions and millions of people. Now you have millions and millions of people. How will they make it into Africa? Now you come with these intellectuals. I have enough money. I will preach against Africa. But if it comes very hard, hey man, I need a ticket. How can I get a visa? I have my family here. You know me, man, from YouTube. Yeah, how can I make it? You know, and he will leave everything, leave his community, and we will be like, I made it now into Africa. And that's why this is hypocrisy. This is completely wrong. Before something getting worse, before Babylon is destroyed, we have to leave it. Before you see a war or bad things coming to us, you have to be prepared. Okay? Which means we do not wait. Those who can, those who has a plan, those who have good friends and families. Yeah? When it is written in the scriptures that Isaiah, when he had a problem with his family, where did they go? To Egypt, right? Okay? So when you see things are coming to you, like in the time of Joseph as well, okay? Hunger and thirst and all these kinds of things, famine, where did they go? Did they not enter to Africa? Which means, brothers and sisters, we have to be very smart. We have to be very smart. Put a foundation and try it. We are fighting against a lot of things in Africa. We are fighting against a lot of things in Africa. But you will see in 2 or 3 years, people that do not even come to YouTube and talk too much, saying, hey, look, this and this is what I have, this and this is what we did. You can go to this Ghanaian man that travels all over Africa and shows what the people have created so far. Okay, some people from the scratch with $10,000, some people with $15,000. They have created things because the Most High had a blessing on them. They put the money on the right thing. Africa will be developed anyway. Like Dr. Mumba used to say, with you or without you. Africa don't need anyone, but the world needs Africa. Go and look at all these doctors. Type in Africa is the future. Many and many videos. Go and look at the politics. There's no politicians beside Donald Trump that didn't want to negotiate with Africa. And you, the children, you, the son of this country, you have to lead them to tell them, do you want a piece of this? Here, I sell it to you. And by then also learning who you are, learning the spirituality so that you receive double portion. Me, I'm a spiritual leader. Do you think that I know everything? Do you think that I'm done by that what I know? No. If you have a house, you know always where you can run to, because the West is not your house. We will judge the West. We will go to the West, to the four corners, and begin judgment, telling them exactly like Elijah went to the queen, to the kingdom of Sheba, telling them, I will finish you up. Like Massa went to the kingdom of Egypt and fought the Pharaoh. Like all the other prophets did. This is how it will be again. And they are just waiting for that. They know it will come to them. That this, how do the Most High fight? How do he fight? This is the problem that the churches have never done. They never fought for us. But this doesn't mean that if Aiken starts saying that I want to build Africa, help me, that another Pan-African is saying I want to help Africa, do not think that person is crazy. No, he isn't. That's why they have 10,000 times more subscribers than we have. You cannot put Christianity with Pan-Africanism in one cup. They will always win. But what I have said, the Mwanda is not with them. So you that have the Mwanda, you can help them. But they have also things that they do, because the Most High also uses them, that also we, the people that you receive the Mwanda, needs. So how can someone hate Africa when Africa is the last solution for the whole world? Africa will never go down. This is like if you destroy Africa, it's like you're killing the Most High. Just to tell you, the Most High is not in Edom. He's not in America. Read your scriptures. He lives by the poor people. He lives with those among them where gardens are, mountains, fountains, where his treasures are. This is where he is. It's everywhere in the scriptures. in the Apocalypse and everywhere. And read the Revolution, the book of Revelation, very clear how he will destroy Babylon. Africa is not shining like Babylon. It's Germany. It's Russia. It's China. Come on. The things are so clear. It is not easy to live in Africa. But if we are many, we can maybe make it. If we are many, if we stick together, if we work together, and I mean, come on, a little bit math here and there, okay? It is easy to break this finger, very easy. But now, two of them, try the whole hand. It's like, we have to stick together. It's almost impossible to break all these hands, all the five, and if we do this one here, now try to break it. Everyone, you're gonna see, look at this. In one company, you can have in a let's say agriculture, you can have more than 2,000 workers. More than 2,000 workers. So we have to start believing in each other. And one thing that I will say at last is the African spirituality. Okay. African spirituality. Good. We are not Jewish. We are not Christians. It will never be. Because we are not Muslims. Because we became these individuals, members of these clans. That's why we are suffering. There is nothing like such African spirituality. We are people full of traditions. Even in the West, there's different kinds of things in my youth that my father was saying, don't do this, don't do this. My mother, oh, we don't do that, don't marry this. Well, I start asking yourself, where does this kind of bush thing come from? Oh, I'm not African. How many times did I say that? How many times still today I say, don't go away with your African mindset. But Africa is me. Africa, the mother, the root, is in everyone and in everything here in this world. When it comes to spirituality, it is also the mother of all religions and all spiritualities. There is nothing like African spirituality. You can go to the Mayans. Yeah, you can go to the Native Americans. You can go to the Hindus, even the European, yeah, Stone Age and all these kinds of things. All of them had their spirituality, and all of it came from Africa. How can it be, before I go deeper, that all the people that stand up against African spirituality, they can never say anything about the things that is going on around them, false prophets, the faults in the ghettos, the politicians, the false teachers in the churches, pastors, and false everything in the churches and whatever. But for them, it's very easy to talk against their brothers in Africa. The whole world the whole world fears Africa. Fear. And they hate it in the same way. And our people have forgotten it. It is called the mother or the child, let's say the child that is forgotten. No one wants to fight for it. Everywhere you see witchcraft, everywhere you see in the ghettos people killing each other and robbing because of shoes and all this extremist Muslims everywhere, all over the world. But Africa is the worst. We are living here, Portugal is poor, Poland is poor. All this Bosnian and all these countries, they have nothing but nothing. I can go now and take the next flight, yeah, going to the US. I will find places, my goodness. Go to Southern Africa, go to certain places in Africa. If we will find these kinds of ghettos that you will find in France or somewhere. No, 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 no. But Africa is the worstest. Africa is the poorest. Africa is the ugliest. Africa has the black churches. Africa has the black people. Africa is garbage. Africa are sorcerers. Hey, this sorcerers, yeah, that eat people, yeah, you can go and open your TV now. You will see Eminem with full of blood here. You go to the cinema, you will see them showing how they used to eat children. You look at their cars, yeah, in the West, the most of them 666. You look at their buildings, it's written Satan is ours. But you say Africa because you are your gift. I don't say that you're not one of me, but I say that your gift is not in spirituality. If you're not spiritual, how do you want to see the bad things of this world? It's impossible. You are in the world. Then go to politics or something else to help us. Yeah? But you won't find anyone in the politics today that walks in the manner of the Most High. The most of them, they are empty. Because they have to work with the Spirit, then go to politics, then maybe they can start helping us. So people talk about Africa negative because they lack on knowledge. Every company, you can go to Nestle, Nokia, Apple, you can go to every person that does trains. The trains that we used to drive with, cars, tin, coltan, zinc, copper. There is no material that does not come from Africa. Everything that you see in the West is from the mother. Even your way that you used to pass, even your guns that you have on your pants, that you kill your next brother. Yeah? You kill your brother. No one else. Oh, the white man, the white man. You kill your brother and you say the white man is killing you. If you walk in righteousness, in doing only that what you have to do, like the Most High has commanded you, the white man has no time to kill you. I can open my television here now, and the first thing that I will see, youth, because they have nothing to do, sniffing drugs, selling human trafficking, all these kinds of things. So it doesn't make any sense. All of us are lost. All of us needs healing. All of us are frustrating. Every one of us is losing people. Every one of us wants the same thing. Hey, every one of us wants the same thing. And it's justice. Huh? Justice. So, every one of us has to do something to get it. And no one can show a finger on the other, because I really believe that everyone is doing something to bring us forward. And even if he does not do something, others will. Noah was teaching about the flooding many years, not the 40, not 100, 500 years. Okay? But at last, even those who did not believe in him from his family, he have saved them. Moses has started shouting, or Jeremiah, Father, have mercy on this people. Not every one of them believed in the Most High, but he has saved them. How many religious people, these pastors, have you seen speaking against the virus, going against the government, like all the prophets in the ancient times have done, and were killed? Look at John the Baptist. What happened to him? Look at all these Pan-Africanist leaders that have spoken out against the beast. How many religious pastors outside there, YouTubers, do you see outside going with their protesters against COVID, against the world, against Nestle, against all these things? Even white people do more than this black guy that is sitting there with his family and, yeah, I am a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, Jesus will come. Jesus will help the world. Jesus is everything for me. Yeah, I know he will come. You will see. But here's my PayPal. Here's my Cash App. Follow me here. Follow me there. And the world is going down. Still today believing in fiction. While the others are outside there fighting. Fighting. There's a real war outside there. A war. Do you see? A war. And if you're spiritual, you know there is a war outside there. But the others is blah, 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 blah. A lot of blah, blah, blah. But like I said, in 2 or 3 years, they will be so humbled. It's like, huh? Man, they have their houses there. They have now everything. Africa is changing. But because they believe in their money, because only someone that has a big mouth, he has money. Because they believe in their money, they're like, hey, and even if they do, I can just go from the back and make it. And who will lose? The people that follow these guys. There are many in America. It's in Amos 7, Amos 9. It's there. It's written there. Tatanzambi said very clear. He said many of our brothers and sisters, they will say no, nothing will happen to us in the West. We will stay in the West because we are secured in the West. Nothing will come to us. Oh no, Africa. No, I don't want to have anything to do with Africa. Many people will say those kinds of crap. You see? To someone who has something in Africa, upgoing, a house. There's a woman, she came to the shop, a white woman. She is in Guinea. That woman, she used to say, yeah, one day, they will have no money no more. You will go to the bank and the bank can't give you any coin no more, because the bank has no money. That's why I don't take my money and put it to the bank. There will be no energy. Do you know what she have done? In the villages in Guinea, solar panels. Hey, if you see how this woman lives, she has her gardens and all these kinds of things. Here in Germany, you will just see her. The white man, he knows more than the black man. Much more. there is no video where I've seen the world is going down in Africa. The world will go down in the West. And they know it. They know it. It's a period of time. They know it. And they hear these politician leaders. They have already prepared somewhere there in Tunisia, somewhere there in the desert, somewhere there in the Philippines, somewhere. They have prepared their housings, bunkers, their places where you will not go. You will not go. Okay? Because you won't have a plan to flight. You won't have ships. You won't have anything to leave these places. And that's why Tata Nzambi give us strength, those who made it into the continent, to not be frustrated, to not fall, to not be robbed, okay? To stay strong against every principalities, yeah, every problem. May Tata Nzambi help them to grow spiritually, politically strong in economy, yeah, so that we can save some people. Okay? This is how it is. The wind will come from the south and will go to the north. Everything that you saw happen to Africa will come to the west. Okay? This will be my next teaching. I will see if I will do the teaching with Brother Kephas or someone else by showing you guys in the scriptures one more time, yeah, that everything that happened to Africa will happen 7 times more in the West. 7 times more. This is the last hit that they have. Robbing here a little bit fishes, here destroying the forest here and there. The last breath. But wisdom, they don't have it no more. In the scripture, there was a time when the children of Israel had different kinds of problems, yeah, in, I think, Ashur. Then they had started to say, oh yeah, let us go back to the kingdom of Egypt. This king will help us. He is smart. He has knowledge. You see? The West can't help you no more. The knowledge of them is over. And we will see. Maybe talking here and there is too much. I tell you, my fathers and mothers, they live here in the West. Even doctors used to tell it to them and say, look, you guys don't belong to these countries here. It's not yours. We know that the Western spirit is in our countries. But we have people that studied. We have all this kind of people. Good things is that you can see people from Ghana going back. You have people from all over Africa starting going back. If America wants to stay there, Black America, we, people from Africa, we gonna go back. Like that our forefathers have said when they went to captivity in the Caribbeans, in the West, like America, Europe, even in India. I have people that I work with in India, yeah, they say always, when will you take us home? We have a home. We have a home. We have a home that is ours. We have a home. Something what you really can call home. Home. You see all the forests. You see the emptiness. You see this wasted. You see all this is mine, ours, and enough of it. For everyone, enough. But in the West, you see everything is builded. Everyone is just running. I have no time. I have no time. Artificial. Fantasy. The whole world became rich because of Africa. The whole world. It's written in your book. Go to Romans 11. It starts by 11. When the whole world became rich because of your fall. The whole world is rich because of Africa. Not, oh, I am in the West. Okay, when you're in the West, you have a good job, $2,000 or whatever. It's good. You can live. But rich. Rich. We're talking about rich here. We don't talk about having $10,000, $20,000 in the bank. And this is also something what the most of our people don't even have. The riches come always from Mother Africa. Nestle, all these people that you see that are rich today, it's because of Africa. Mercedes Benz, Porsche, all the fishermen's, even the paper. Do you see this paper? Huh? It comes from there. So let me bring Brother Denham. I think he will say something to that, and we're going to close this. And Brother Denham, you have a meeting. You'll finish already? Okay, good. Here's the link. Brother Denham knows a lot from what I'm saying. Brother Denham, there's the link. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, so the fight that we have is physical, like also spiritual. And many people will come down to Africa and say, hey, that's not for me. But we have to never forget that it is not only for you that you're doing those things down there, but you're doing it for us. And when someone say, what do these people do for us? Like I heard someone in in the West saying, this is very dangerous what he's saying, because there are different kinds of people. They have already many things from many things. He can't say it to me. What Massa, what are you doing? What are these Congo boys doing for us? Very dangerous. I will show him 5 or 6 things and he will be ashamed to the ground. But I understand him and I will say, come on, I think you are also doing something for us. So, and we have the same way to go. The whole world is trembling. The whole world. The whole world is thinking how. No one has another thought, or how can I make it against Corona, blah, blah, blah. No, people are like, how can I make it to Africa? And this hunger has only started yet. It is said in the prophecies, one house with three bedrooms will have more than 50 people living there. A mass of people will start coming over. War here, there. People will start coming from Asia. They even have it better than those who lives in the across the Atlantic Ocean. Like I used to say it, they will swim. They will start swimming. It starts with hunger, thirst. Africa can never be hungry. That's what you see in the television. This fiction. Huh? This is pure fiction. Africa can never hunger because we have enough food there. Yeah.
All praises the Most High. How are you, Yaya?
All praises, yeah. So I'm explaining here a little bit more about Africa. You know, the fights that we have down there,
Yeah.
building up, you know, our communities, and you know how we're struggling, and you know that people in Africa, uh, may we can even say that they are like two or three, you know, 2 or 3
Years, steps
years, or years
behind.
is too low, not years, but generations
Yeah.
back, you know.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you will
Yes.
also see, like I always used to say, that it is ours.
Yes.
The people are ours. The weather is ours. The land is ours, and that we can make it. That we
Yes.
really can make it, and we know that as long we are fighting for something, and it's like the Most High is behind it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we know that what we are doing will help many people.
Yes. Yes. And what you're saying, I hope that everyone is listening and that has, spiritual ears to hear, because I think what happens oftentimes is the things that we say get taken completely out of context. And no one is saying that this is a vacation. I've said numerous times, do not come to the continent thinking that you're going to retire early, put your feet up, and just drink on, coconuts all day. This is not going to happen. This is work. This is the Industrial Revolution, is here, is on the continent. And we understand that not everyone can afford to, come over to the continent and leave and do all this other thing. We understand that. We're talking directly to the people that are saying that essentially there's nothing here on the continent. And that doesn't mean we know about the things in scripture. We know about how the Most High said that he's going to gather his people and all these other things. But you also need people that are there preparing a place. You go to prepare places. You have to prepare for people to be able to come as well. And everyone has a different mission. Everyone has a different place. There's not everybody's mission is to come to the continent. Let's just call a spade a spade. Some people, there's a reason why it says these things in scriptures. There's a reason why it says, then a remnant of Israel. It says this in Zephaniah, right? Like 3, and I think it's like 11 or 12, where it says, then the remnant of Israel. We know this, that there will only be a remnant. We understand these things. The problem is that when you are here on the continent and you've decided to leave your place or wherever you are, you have a completely different perspective of what the continent is than when you're just sitting at home looking at, 10 best things in Africa or 10 best things in this country, worst things about this country, oh, the crime, oh, and this, and oh, and that. All of these things exist everywhere. And I'll give you an example of this. One of the times when I was coming, I had one of my family members say, oh, you're going to go to this place, be careful. And I was like, but you don't tell me to be careful when I say I'm going to go to Chicago. In Chicago, there's 13 to 16 people that get gunned down every single weekend in Chicago. But you don't tell me when I go into Chicago for a weekend that I should be careful. But this is what has happened. So for us, we're almost at a place where we have to we're trying to reverse this narrative, not saying that it's perfect, not saying that we have all the answers, and not saying that you should go to Angola or that you should come to Botswana or that you should go to South Africa or you should go. No. But there's a place here for you. But so many of our people in the diaspora and all over the place have this narrative now that if you just sit around and do nothing, that somehow somebody's going to come and get you. Who's going to come and get you? Where does it say that you're going to come and get you? You keep saying that the Most High is going to gather his people. Yes, but he always uses people to do the work that he's asking them to do. This is what he's always asked. When they're like, oh, well, when we left Egypt or whatever, the Most High brought us out of Egypt. Yeah, but he brought Massa to go into Egypt to do the works so that people said, okay, come follow this man. And none of us are saying that we're trying to anoint ourselves in these things. We're simply saying that the Most High has ordained certain people to be servants to say, look, we have come and we're preparing a place. We're documenting, we're discussing about what we're seeing, what we're hearing. We're looking at the narrative and we're saying, look, There are certain places that it's not good to go, but this is not the whole of the continent. Not every single place that you go to on the continent hates the fact that you're an African American. This is just not true. And that doesn't mean that there's not certain places that is that true. But it's like that in the West. But yet you don't have a problem doubling down in the West, because the West has become the devil you know. And because we don't want the unknown, we want to hold on to that which we have. For many of us, it's very little. And I understand that. I respect that. But what Massa is also talking about, which is what I say, is that we have a choice where we either choose with the synthetic reality or an organic reality. The things that they offer you in the West is plastic. It's plastic. It's not good for you. It looks good, but when you consume it after a period of time, you deteriorate. Here, you can look at barren land and you're like, oh, but there's no skyscrapers. There's no, Empire State Building. There's no this, but it's yours. But it's yours. And you get to take pride in the fact that it's yours. No one said that it's cheap. No one said all these things. So what we're simply trying to do, and Massa, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but what we're simply trying to do is we're simply saying, look, there's a lot of dissenting voices. There's a lot of people that are saying a lot of things right now. And we're also saying, can you also trust the people that are here? Because none of us are using our platforms to say, hey, I have a plot for sale, give me $10,000 and you'll have oceanfront property. You'll have 8 hectares of land on, or no one is saying that. We're not saying that at all. We're saying, don't be discouraged just because you're hearing dissenting voices, because these same dissenting voices fall into the Western narrative that doesn't want you to come in the first place, because that's the greatest hack. When you come and you look around and you see, wow, this is different. Because people say, oh, well, I can see black people anywhere. But this is we're talking about spiritual things now. We're not talking about just the things that you see. We're talking about the things that you can feel, the things that you personally feel when you come, that connection. And for some people, it's not for them. And that's okay. There's a place for you as well. But for a lot of us, we have left the places that we're in. Massa, it works in Angola. He does things. I'm here talking to you right now here in Botswana. I'm not telling you my opinion about the continent, this, that, and the third, while I'm sitting in the West. This is why I never came on. This is why I never reached out to Massa. I never said, hey, this, because I was like, no, I want to be there on the ground. I'm tired of watching YouTube videos of everyone telling me, oh, the continent is the greatest place ever. Okay, well, I want to go. Oh, it's the worst place ever. Okay, I want to see it with my own eyes. And that's all we are suggesting. Come and see this with your own eyes. We're not saying pack up and leave tomorrow. Just come and see. And then when you come and see for a couple of days, if you decide, you know what, the West is for me, go back to the West and do what you have to do in the West. If you come here, then sit there and say, look, a lot of jobs are online. I can write ebooks. I can do a lot of things online that can supplement me. This is all we're simply saying. In my opinion, this is what we're trying to talk about with this narrative.
Oh, praises here, yeah. What do you say about if people start talking about Africa, but they have never been here?
I mean, this is, in the book of Ecclesiasticus, I can't remember which verse it says, but Solomon is talking about how you should never consult a coward about the art of war, right? You would never do these things. That when you're in wisdom, what are you consulting? I'm not going to consult a bear about how to fly in the air. These things don't make any sense. So it doesn't mean that you can't have your opinions, but at the same time, isn't it much more powerful? Isn't it much more effective to actually physically be there so that you can take your camera and say, this is the things that I'm seeing? Like I say, the things that I see here in Botswana might not be the things that you would see if you went to Uganda or if you went to Angola, right? But at least you're here so you can have the opinion. And so my problem that I always have with a lot of our brothers and sisters and other people of the other nations, when they talk about the continent of Africa, and Massa will be able to speak to this. Here in Botswana, they have an entire region up north where they tell people, don't go there. There's nothing there. Wild animals just roam around. A lion might eat you if you go there. I went there to this place. When you go to this place, there's nothing but resorts in the entire area. This is where they go. Private airplanes, private airstrips that go in there, like literally river cruises. This is what it is. This is where these people go on vacation to from Europe and all these other places. Even here in Botswana, the prince would come to the diamond mines here in Maun on vacation and want to go to all these different things, but yet they tell you not to come. This is the problem. So until you come and see these things for yourself, I respectfully would suggest maybe hold off on the opinion. Because yes, is there murder happening here? Absolutely. Is there death that's happening here? Yes. Is there a lot of poverty here? Yes. Is there certain diseases that are man-made, which we all know, that are here? Yes. But there's also the wonders of the world that are here. There's also the most beautiful, spiritually minded people that are not even in the awakening, but they were born because they were never detached.
Pan-Africanists, very good people that are fighting for the country, thinking, good thinkers.
Yes, that are intelligent. Most people here speak 3-4 languages. 3-4 languages. Most of us, if you grew up in the West, you speak one, and we barely speak that one language well. But you come here, and it's a requirement to speak 4 languages. And then in their mind, they come to you and say, yeah, I'm so stupid.
And you haven't danced with them. And you haven't drank the nice cocoa drinks. And you haven't seen the sun go down. So,
get out of it. Get out of this idea that this is a place where your dreams go to die. Like this is, oh, well, if you go to Africa, everything that you've ever wanted is going to die. It takes time. But if you go back to the Americas and during the Industrial Revolution, New York City didn't always look like New York City. Chicago didn't always look like Chicago. Hollywood, Los Angeles didn't always look like that. There were builders that were there that saw the blueprints and said, this is what I'm going to do. And there was a lot of people then that said, they're going to build an Empire State Building. They're going to build this. What morons are going to come here? There's nothing here. And then look what happens. The same thing with Dubai. Look, anyone can go and research right now. Look at what Dubai was 25 years ago, and look at what Dubai is now. When you went to Dubai 25 years ago, it was nothing but sand. Now all of a sudden, it's one of the most sought after places to go to in the entire world. I know, I've been there. The Burj Khalifa, one of the tallest buildings in the world, $125 just to go on the elevator to the top of the building. But they wouldn't have said this 25 years ago. This is what we're talking about. The talk that we're talking is not for everyone. You have to be a visionary. You have to be a revolutionist. You have to sit there and say, I want to roll up my sleeves and get into this fight. This is
all
what
the prophets have seen that, what you're saying. All the prophets have seen Africa rising. All the prophets have seen Africa becoming, even the Black Panther movie teaches all this, what we're talking about. They're showing Africa coming up, They're showing Africa coming up like a phoenix, everything new. The only problem is the white people, they want to do all these things, but they want us dead and doing all these things. And that's why we need the righteous people that know the laws, they know how to fight for us, they know how to speak out. You saw African people. They don't speak, they're humble,
No.
They don't know anything.
They're very scared. This is why we say that.
How can you shout at someone that don't know anything?
Exactly.
Which
exactly.
means the mother getting raped.
Yes.
And this is what we are doing in the West. We're just letting do whatever what you're doing with the mother, but forgetting that the whole world is taking everything out of the mother, and we are the only people that can save the mother.
That can protect.
We are the mother. Without the mother, we can't do anything.
This is our DNA, and if you kill the mother, it's all gone. Right? And you may sit there and you'll say, I don't care about Africa. And maybe that's fine. And maybe that's your position. But where is your food coming from? Where's your technology to use to buy your new Mac computer, to buy your new cell phone, to get your new big screen TV that has 4K and metaverse? Where are you getting the technology to do all of those things? Like these things don't just magically appear. It comes from something. And this is what we're saying, that for some people, this is what their calling is. I am a big proponent. This place is not for everyone. This place is, like I say, it's for the dogs, boy. This place is for the dogs. The ones like when you read in Judges and he's talking to Gideon, the Most High says, bring those that lap up their water like a dog. Those are the ones that you're going to go and fight. Let all the other ones go back in the tent and we'll bring the spoils to them. But I want the ones that lap up water like a dog. That's what this place is for. That's what this place is for. Right now, this is what it is. And there's a place to rest. But right now, brothers and sisters, this place is for the dogs. This is not. If you want turnkey, this place ain't for you. We'll call you when the time comes.
So
but we're simply saying,
they're
this
saying,
is where we are right now.
They're saying, we want to see you guys first prosper, build it first up, then we come over.
They want it turnkey. They want it turnkey. But then you realize that that's going to cost, right? And then it's like, oh, give us these things for free, but you didn't want to be here and work for 5 years, for 6 years. And this is why I'm saying that don't take our word for it. Just come. But then other people, the biggest question is, well, what happens if we can't afford it? What happens if we can do this? I'm not saying that it's the cheapest place in the world, because it is not. But what I am saying is there's a lot of our brothers and sisters who will spend thousands of dollars on buying new Jordans, buying a new iPhone, buying a new computer that's at 2 years old, going to concerts and all these other things, or flying to Europe, whatever. They can always have enough money because they want to go to Paris Fashion Week or things like that, and they will go. But you then say you don't have enough money to come to the continent. This is the people that we're talking about. We're not sitting there and saying these words as this blanket statement. We're simply talking about, we know there's certain voices, there's certain people, there's certain organizations that are trying to not want you to come and see what's here. Because when you see it, like it said in the Willie Lynch letters, this is what it said in the Willie Lynch letters, 1712, when he consulted with the people that were around him, they said, if these people, these Negroes, if they can touch some semblance of historical remembrance, their brain has a way of resetting itself. And this phenomenon will occur if they're able to touch something.
Brother, there was a Tucker family coming to Angola. She went to the waters. I have to, I can't go back with the spiritual teaching. I will even go so deep. There will be, people will go, But anyway, she went talking to the waters. She did all these rituals. She went back to America. The presidents of Angola went to search for the Tucker family. And this time, the Tucker family met the presidents. And there's one thing that is always good in Africa. If they know that you are coming from the West and you're really doing something, they're easy. It's
not the same
coming directly, because you see, people are like, I'm American or I'm European. I come down, give me everything.
Right.
But maybe you can receive everything if you start something and they see, he's coming here and he really doing something. He has started something. It works. And then it will be easier than receiving something from the West.
And like you said, in another video, part of the culture in mostly all these African countries, when you go to an elder's house, you always bring something. You always will bring either tea or scones, a blanket, to show your respect for them allowing sitting down with you in the thing. This is the same thing. Do not get it twisted, brothers and sisters. Do not come and sit there and go, I'm from Los Angeles, California, roll out the red carpet for me to get there. They're going to be like, we didn't call for you to be here. But then if you come and humbly and be of meek minded, because this is what Uzziah was. Uzziah was very meek. He was powerful when he spoke, but he didn't go around like, look at me, look at me. He let his works show his actions. And he didn't speak about these things. He literally just did those things. So if you come and say, I want to start a foundation, a nonprofit, I want to do 1 or 2 businesses, and you do those things, the government will then see the things that you're doing and then say, oh, I want to maybe give you 15% of money. Oh, you want to have land to be able to do this? Let's work together and we'll do this. You'll use your own
discernment. You can even find people from the West coming also to supporting you, because everyone wants Africa.
Yes, they all want their football.
Everyone wants Africa.
This is what we're talking about. This is why we say you have to be a revolutionist, but like I said, you have to be a dog. You have to be wise, but you have to be hungry. This is the difference. For us, like Massa, we grew up in the West, so there's nothing surprising anymore. I know. I've seen the Bentleys, the Lamborghinis, the high things that there's, okay, cool. And that's nice for a season. But then when you're talking about generational wealth, when you're talking about what am I going to leave my kids, Jordans What am I going to leave them? Debt, a condo, a little, 65 square meter condo? This is what I will leave them? No, I can come here, grind, and look at what I could leave them. Plant fruit trees, banana trees, apple trees, have a foundation. This is what we're talking about. So we're not saying that it's easy, but come here humbly. Come here with something to offer. When he says that my suppliants will bring mine offerings, this is me. This is just a revelation that I have gotten, that the continent of Africa is the wilderness, kings and queens. The continent is what? That it's not this just place that you will just go to. This is the wilderness right now, the unknown. Where do we go? Who do we listen to? What happens if it doesn't work out? Maybe we should just go back to the West. Maybe we should. This is what's happening right now. And for those that want to continue on, for those who want to continue on the path in the wilderness, then all of a sudden, when that thing hits, you're like, oh my gosh, look at, there's this and there's this. Then the Most High, because the Most High requires you to have action. He requires you to seek him. He requires movement. Faith without works is dead. He requires your participation. So for me personally, spiritually, right now, the continent is the wilderness. The first captivity that we went into was a physical captivity. Now we are in a mental, spiritual captivity. This is where we are now. What happens if it doesn't work out? What happens if this? No one is saying just get up and leave. We're saying try it out, like you do a 14-day trial. Come over for 5 days. Look at some things. See it for your own eyes. So when you go back on YouTube or you go back looking to these foundations on the news and they're saying, oh, Africa's a hellhole. There's nothing there. All kids just have bloated stomachs and this and the third. There's people here on the continent of Africa that have more money than the richest people in the European or the Western countries.
Yeah, they are so rich. They are really too rich. The problem is also with if you see people coming up with, now I want to sell herbs. Now I want to sell African clothing. Now I want to do this and this and this, in the West, because the people are hungry. They want to have something from Africa.
Yes.
You're talking against Africa, but you're selling African products.
You see?
So you can have bio soaps, everything that is organic. It's Africa. It always will show you Africa, which means that, like you have said, people must come and build something up and then maybe selling it to the West or selling it to the people, because always everything what you do, the local people need it too.
Yes. The people need it. The people need it here first. There is the thing where you could do it, but do not come with this mindset where you're going to not come and then say, but you want to profit off of it. Because then how are we different? This is why I said we just need to think about some of the things that we're saying. Not because all the people are wrong, but because let's look at it from another perspective. How is it that you're going to sit there and say, oh, forget Congo. I don't care about the raping that's going on in Congo, or all these other people. They're dirty. They have diseases, this, that, and the third. But yet you continue to go out and buy cell phones. You continue to go out and you continue to benefit from all of the things that are happening in these areas. And it's not just Congo. There's gold, there's, like you saw, shea butter, soaps, dashikis, head wraps, all these other things. Where do you think that these things are coming from? So you want to talk about these things, but then you want to sell them.
Brother, all of them wants to look like you, All of them wants to look like you. So they're going to get in their shots, And then all of them, all the products comes from here, from Africa, brother.
You realize that this is just nothing but that your melanin, your sun, the sun, you come, you get fed by the sun, you eat the food that is clean, it's organic, and this is what you have to do. But brothers and sisters, like Massa is saying, and I'm saying, please do not take my words out of context. This place is not that we're saying that it's easy. It's a fight. But if you've ever wanted to be a part of something far bigger than yourself, I personally don't see a place that's bigger than this. I don't personally see a cause that's bigger. You can literally go. Massa knows this. You can literally go and you can sponsor a whole child for 1 year with $200 US. They'll be able to have food. They'll be able to have clothing. They'll be able to have all of these things. This is what you can do. These are the things that you can do. But because these foundations purposefully, because they knew that this awakening was going to happen, and they knew that your people that look like you would return and would be talking to you. So they wanted to ruin the way that you viewed foundations in Africa. Like, oh, well, how many billions of dollars do we need to get? But they don't do anything with it. Oh, let's all have a rock show where we're all about saving Africa.
All the time they made a little money of it. All the
That's what
time.
happens.
We are still we are starting to waking up now. All this Red Cross and all the people that goes they receive all the profits from us all the time. The West became rich because of us.
Yes.
Completely, there's nothing that they did not take from Africa. That's why
And-
our children, our people must learn what they can do
Yes.
in the country to go back and to take over that what is theirs.
Yes, and everything is a good idea. There's nothing that
Exactly.
anything that
Everything
you
is
can
a
think of in
good
the West,
idea. We
they
need
need
everything.
it here. Everything is a good idea. Whether you're like, oh, an internet cafe. I've always wanted to start an internet cafe. Not every place here has internet or reliable internet because a lot of people can't afford the internet. So you can come start an internet cafe. It doesn't take you buy a little crappy building, fix it up with some one or two things, buy, some expensive internet, which might be $65 a month. But depending on what country you're in, people can't afford that. Then you come, you sell some scones, some tea, and some coffee. Let them come, read some books that you bring over from the West, and that's your little business. No one is saying come over here and start mega buildings and all these other things. We're not saying that. Everything starts small. But everything, there are nonprofits here on the continent that reject Western foundations because they've said we are so tired of them coming in, taking pictures with our kids, putting them on their website, saying, oh, showing them this $55,000 check that they're going to write that never gets cashed, and then they leave. This is what they do. So we're here to turn the narrative, to reverse the narrative, not because it's perfect, not because it's easy, not because there's not some fleas. There's a lot of fleas here. There's a lot of ticks here. But man, where else is there to go? When it's all said and done and all the dust settles, where will you be going? This is the question that you must ask yourself. This is why it's so important to work with the people here and say, look, don't try to go to your university and say, oh, I have to go to the West. I have to go to Europe. No, build it up so you sit there and say, look, maybe I don't want to be in Botswana, but maybe I'll go to Kenya. Maybe I'll go to Angola. Keep it here on the continent. Let's learn how to resurface this money here. Then let's start trading with the West. But don't be in the West profiting from that, trying to buy dashikis, trying to look like, I support the culture and this, that, and the third, but you have no interest in being here. There's something about that I just don't like. It's very disingenuous to me. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that that's for everybody, but for my Denham Richards opinion, I'm just the type of person. It's like, how is it that you can afford all of these things, but you don't even want to go right to the source and even see how those things are made? You don't even care about what environment the things that you're profiting off of is being made. But you don't care to know. You just say it's not good. No one should go there. I just don't like that.
Exactly. So, praises. This is the fight that we have. That's why I respect people that have this Pan-Africanism mindset. They are also fighting for the same manner. Every one of us are trying to make it home. Everyone is trying to bring us together. So normally we shouldn't have any problems. And if it comes to African spirituality or hates against each other because Africa, they look different, the spirituality is different and all these kinds of things. It is written in the Bible, let the good and the bad grow together. Yeah. And later, Tatanzambi will send the reapers, okay, and the good will leave. Okay. So normally someone that calls himself a Christian, yeah, shouldn't have fear from a sorcerer. Okay? He shouldn't fear a sorcerer. Okay? So me myself, I know that Africa is not full of witches. Okay? But if people think like that, okay, then they maybe should pray and fast a little bit more, or what the Christian used to do. Because I know that everyone that has a Christian mindset can never be good with Africa. Even the people in Africa themselves, they deny themselves because of Christianity.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
They do not want to, because of Christianity, Africa is there where it is today
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
And the
100%.
scripture says very clear, we have to go back to that what is ours. And
Yes.
where do you want to find that what is ours when not in the land? If
Right.
not in the land and not in the
And
West.
to talk and just to add to you, yeah, what it is that, we know that a lot of people say, about African spirituality and this, that, and the third. Some people, a lot of people think that it's like people over here are just, worshiping their ancestors. They're worshiping them. I'm not an ancestor worshiper. Our ancestors are in us and we are in our ancestors. And we have these connections through there. We know the Most High. We know Tatanzambi. We know this. We also know that in the scriptures, it says that we are supposed to return to the ancient past so that our spirits can find rest. So when we say return to the ancient past, there are certain things that our ancestors were doing that we were supposed to be doing, because a lot of our ancestors were in idol worship. This is how we got here in the first place, because of the idol worship, because of going to divination and all these other necromancy and all this other foolishness that our ancestors were going through. But the Most High says to return to the ancient past, that your spirit will be able to find rest. Your soul can find rest. So for us, for me, it's like there's certain things being here on the continent where I'm like, how would my ancestors be praying? There has to be a much more powerful way for me to be praying. What certain things could I be eating maybe that would help me cleanse myself a little bit more, especially when you come from the West, so much toxins and pollution and this, that, and the third. But there's this notion that because we talk about the ancestors, that we're in ancestor worship. I'm not in ancestor worship. I'm not going to speak for all other brothers and sisters. That's not nothing to do with me. But Denham Richards is not in ancestor worship. But I am interested in the great things that my ancestors were doing, how they cultivated this land, how they used these things. How did they build these great kingdoms without the technology that we have in the 21st century? How did they do these things? This is what I'm talking about for me.
Because these people were so smart, they did everything what they could do, and no one of us in our new generation can do it.
Can know how to do it.
We didn't do anything. That's why we always show them. It's written in the scripture. I will make you jealous with that what is no human. So they create everything. We're just watching.
We don't know how to do anything.
We cannot call everything witchcraft when it is not witchcraft, because wisdom is wisdom. Witchcraft is witchcraft.
Right.
And Tatanzami say, go back to your past and know this is where you will find yourself and find me.
Yes.
And not in Christianity.
Right.
You see?
Right. This is
that's
exactly
why I say everyone has to do his work like he's called to. That's it.
Yes. Everyone should just don't look in somebody else's mirror expecting to see your reflection. You take the things I say and take it to the Most High, set it at the feet of the Most High and pray over it and fast over it and discern these people. Try Massa's heart. Sit there and pray. Sit there and say, is he leading me astray? Because if this is the case, he has a lot of people's blood on his hands. I'm just calling a spade a spade. This is true. These things are true. If you sit there and you hear me say something, one or two things, pray on it. Don't take our word for it. Pray about it. Take it to the Most High. But you can also read in the scriptures where it says that we're to return to the ancient past so that our soul can find rest. How will we do this sitting behind the TV screen?
There's a brother Denham. He said that it's only Isaiah that could speak to the ancestors, like creating the tabernacle for Elijah and Massa. Only he's able to connect. What do you think about that? Because he's different than others.
I think this is a hard thing, because the Most High says that he's the Most High of the living and not the dead, right? But it's also very interesting because me personally, there's been many stories where Uzziah also then says like that we're to do greater works than him. So for me, my question would just be, where's the line? Like, where is the line where it's Uzziah says that we're to do greater works than him? Right. So now if we were to go out and see, this is one of my things. And I had this conversation actually last night where it's like, if you were to go and raise somebody from the dead, or if you were to rain down fire from heaven, or if you were to be able to make the sun and the moon stand still, would the people today say that you're in witchcraft or in divination, or would they say that you're a prophet? What would they say? Because these are the same things that were happening back then, where if you were able to do these things, the gifts that the Most High said he has given you, that he's given so many different gifts to so many different people, prophecies and healing, miracle working, wisdom, but it all comes from the same spirit. It all comes from the same bebe. It all comes from the same place, the same root, the Most High. So for me, I would simply then just ask or submit the question. So where is the line then that we're supposed to be drawing? Because now you're saying that if you're able to do those things, you're in witchcraft, but then Yesiah then says that you're supposed to be doing greater works than I'm supposed to be doing. Because he was a servant of the Most High. He was a teacher, a master teacher, that of course we know this, the master teacher, right? But he was not the Lord and the Savior that we're supposed to be bowing ourselves down to. He was there to teach the Ben Abetu how to return, how to get their power back, to show them these things. So, you know, brother, this is the problem. There's so many dissenting voices that it's like, what do we decide to do? Because this is also what happens in Christianity, where they pick and choose the verses that fit a narrative, but then it's also like, we also all agree that not everything is written in the scriptures. It says that in John, so many more things did the works of Isaiah do that were not written in this book, because the whole world could not contain that which he was doing. So it's also like, so imagine this is what we're supposed to be doing. So where is the line? Where is it that we're supposed to be drawing this line between?
Brother, in Africa, you have different kinds of people doing different kinds of miracles daily, resurrecting the deaf, healing, prophesying. Did you ever heard about them in one book?
Right.
You have different kinds of food. I can go to food that African people eat.
Yeah.
If you go to the scriptures, you won't find them there.
Right.
You see?
Right.
So,
right.
You have different kinds of things like traditions that African people do.
Yes.
Are they written in the scriptures? So you would go now and say, are we the same people like the people in the scriptures? Which means that not everything is written in the book.
Right. It says in the scriptures.
And if you want to find those things, you have to live among those people.
You must return. You have to go back. And your spiritual ability to discern that which is right and that should be coming into play. It's not for babies. The whole journey is not for babies. This is why it says those that endure to the end shall be saved. But it also says in the scriptures, it says that I have given you every herb of the field as medicine, that you should not abhor it. He didn't give you the list. Do this, okay? do this. But how are you supposed to know these things? But then if you say, eat this plant, put some oil in it, heat it up, put some water, drink it, and everything that you got, is that which? I don't know. But it says that I've given you every herb of the field as medicine.
Yeah, it's witchcraft. So it's very sad. Yeah, I don't want to take your time. Thank you very much for blessing this channel, for blessing all of us. This is Brother Denham Richards. He is in Botswana, a great actor, playing with Will Smith and.
Relax. It's always a pleasure. Continue to feed. To the brothers and sisters, just continue on your path. Take everything that everyone says to the Most High directly. Pray, discern, fast. And like you said, the wheat from the tares will be separated. And so at the end, there's no drown out the noise. Focus on the gift that the Most High has given you, and don't be like the parable of the 10 talents, where you take that which He's given you and put it in the underground because you're afraid about what might happen. Because we know what happens to the people that do that. So thank you, Yahya, and we'll definitely talk soon.
Someone asked you something. This is the last question for you here.
How people can be teachers.
It's a gift, brother.
It's a gift,
but it's also the passion to talk to people, to communicate, to help. All those kinds of things can.
And there's a training camp, right? Like, I don't know about you've been in the Awakening much longer, but when I came into the Awakening, the Most High sat with me, and I had to sit with the Most High with fast and prayer for over 1.5 years, reading and studying and doing all of these things before you even can open your mouth on a
Exactly.
platform.
You have
The
to
Most High
study.
said,
Yeah, that's
sit
it.
here. And you're like, but no, but I want to tell them about Deuteronomy 28.
And you know nothing.
And the Most High's like, but you can't answer any questions. You don't know what you're
Yes.
talking about. Sit still. So the only thing that I can say, and Yahya will obviously have a different, a different thing, but for me, the Most High calls you, he wakes you up. But the Most High has sleeper cells all over the world that at different points of time, the Most High says it's time for you to awaken and go on your journey. But you also have to understand that through your excitement of being in the truth, that you have to be able to articulate and understand, like it says in scripture, you must be able to become all things to all men that you might be able to save some. So we know that we have to be able to identify with many different things. You must be learned, as they say in South Africa, learned. You must be learned to be able to understand things about politics, understand things that are in certain demonic things, so you can see, so you understand symbolisms and things of that sort. So that is just what I would say. As far as being a teacher, I still learn. I learn from Yahya. I learn from Brother Keefus. I learn from a lot of our great brothers out there. And then I sit with the Most High daily, and allow him through the spirit of through the spirit to download and to guide me as well. So this is why I don't even have a YouTube channel. I just do my thing on Twitter and Instagram, different medium, because we need our brothers and sisters in different platforms. This is the things that we need. All praises.
One day, if the people in the United States, our brother, and I think 90% from them comes from Africa. I can never, I know it is like that.
Yeah.
Good. And if they one day recognize that they come from Africa, that Africa is their home, I think then we will make it,
Esh.
because this is when we start thinking like that,
Oof.
because I think that people are very unlearned. I think that the
Mm.
most of the things that people learned in the West is like against Africa, and that
Yeah.
has changes our minds very ridiculous.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
And
Like
pray,
us,
pray,
like he's
pray for the
written,
brothers.
brother Nick is saying Christianity is politics. We can see it with we can see it with Napoleon. He was a Christian.
Yeah.
Caesar and all those Romans,
Constantine.
all of them, constantly, yeah, all of them.
He's the one that said that he saw a cross, Jesus in the sky, and with the cross, and it said whatever the words were, that through this symbol you shall reign, you shall conquer. This is what Constantine said. They said this is why they painted the crosses on everything. This is why they painted them on the slave ships as well, because in this cross, as he said that he saw this vision in the sky, that in this symbol that they will conquer. We know
Yes,
these
okay.
things. This is what they have done.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you
But
very much.
all praises, yeah. I
Yes.
I
Thank
will
you.
leave you to
Yeah.
finish, and all praises. Continue to pray
Yes.
for Yahya. He's fighting a battle as we are. So all praises, Yahya.
Ingeta, yeah. Thank you very much for watching today. I hope I did not go too much out of our context. Now at the moment we are learning a little bit more about the spiritual things, and we will definitely go deeper. Like I always used to say, um, um, you know, we don't learn from Rome wasn't built in one day or two. Everything that we learn, we have to learn it slowly. We don't have to learn everything directly. We do not have to understand everything directly. Okay. And this is what the most I say, my words or the things that I say are spiritual, which means you have to understand the spiritual part of everything that is said by the Mwandan Semi. And later, if it comes true, if everything goes well, then you say, this guy, the things that he has said came from the Most High. It is never like if you say something and everyone believes it directly. It is not like if Isaiah has done certain things and everyone has understood everything what he has said. When he went to the mountains he just took two of his disciples. He just took all of them because he knew you would say different kinds of things about him. Okay, so but today the Spirit is there to show us if we are on the righteous path or not, and even if we leave our path, because the Spirit is there, the Spirit of truth, and will come to pick us up again and to bring us to the right path again. And we are all students Yeah. If you are in the West, you have one advantage. You know a lot of things. You can get a lot of information. Go to Africa. They do not have this possibility to know the things that we know. Because if they would have this possibility of internet and all these kinds of things to know the things that we know, these people would become revolutionists long time ago. So we lack on informations. Even the elders in the villages became the greatest Christians and became the poorest people on earth. They cannot even feed their own children. They forgot even their own traditions, how to heal people that have sicknesses and all these kinds of things. They forgot every single thing. They forgot even their treasures under the earth. They forgot even how to go to the mountains and take the waters and to put it into the bottle or whatever. They don't know anything. All of them need help from the West. All of us, even here. Okay, we think we can't live without the Western institutions, the Western life set. This is what we think because we have forgotten ours. We have forgotten that we are natural. We have forgotten that we are creators. Yeah? That everything what you see, television, phone, everything is artificial, man-made. But don't forget, you are a God. You are a God. You are the creator. There's a difference between those two. There's a difference. And this is where we have to go. And when we say we have to manipulate, the cosmos, we have to start using the energies, the powers, the key, okay, or chi. We have to start using the angels, all these energies and plants and animals to work for us. That's why they fear us. That's why they fear us. But how long should we stay in this position? When we would be if we would be bad people in this world, we would be the one killing and finishing up our people all over the world, oppressing everyone, destroying the earth, waters, animals, killing the animals, finishing up with the trees and all these kinds of things. It's not us. So how can people say that we are the bad ones? How can people show a finger on Africa and say, Africans, you guys are the witches, you guys are the bad people, you guys are destroying the earth, you guys are hating the others? It is historical, not true. And we have not to forget something. Africa is in everyone. You deny Africa, it's like you're denying your ancestors, you're denying your root, you're denying your powers, you're denying your wealth, you're denying your own brothers. This is the only thing that I want to say for today. Thank you very much for listening. Ingeta.